Hello guys, full times, just one full time at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 4, West Ham 1. I'll tell you what, the first thing I've got to say straight off the bat, this reminds me a little bit of the Stoke game, another match that we won by a 3-goal margin that we didn't necessarily look like we were going to, or that we deserved to. It's funny, isn't it? You know, there's been a lot of talk recently about how in time we'll look back on Arsene Wenger's legacy and we'll just remember the trophies. Maybe we'll look back on some of these end-of-season games and just remember the score lines. We might remember this as a far better day than it was all in all. 4-1, you can't argue with it, but it took a long time coming. Let's start with the attendance. I was really shocked and really saddened, actually, to see that the crowd was not full today, the stadium not full, all the tickets sold, which means that there were plenty of people, presumably season ticket holders, who had tickets for today's game and chose not to resell and not to come. In the light of Friday's announcement, I find that amazing. I guess that just tells you something about the damage maybe that has been done. And for all the talk of the Wenger decision coming at the right time, maybe it has come a little bit late in terms of some of those relationships between season ticket holders and this team. The fans who did here made more of an atmosphere here, to be fair, including the West Ham travelling fans, than there has been for some time. It was noisy in the Emirates Stadium in the first 20 minutes, but the quality of the game sapped some of that energy, some of that atmosphere. There was no fanfare for Arsene Wenger, no great heraldry. Perhaps that will wait for the last home game against Burnley. He won't like that though. I think it probably would have come from him, that direction. Anyway, in the second half, Arsenal were out quite a long time before kick-off. They were clearly keen to improve on their performance. And they got the goal. Nacho Monreal, 3 goals in his last 7 Premier League games. So I think it took him a couple of hundred Premier League games to get to 3 goals. Prior to that, but he's found some goal scoring form. He's confident in the final third, and it was a lovely sweeping left foot volley actually off Xhaka's outswinging corner. West Ham got back into it though. Arnautovic, I hate to see him score, but fortunately the result went our way. He wasn't too happy today, but it was a good left foot finish from him. I've seen Ospina criticised in the build up for punching the cross. I actually thought he did pretty well. I need to see it again, but I thought he did well to clear it there. Mustafi and Bellerin, I think, will be a bit less happy with the way in which they let Arnautovic slip away from them. Bellerin got very narrow. I'm not really sure what Mustafi was doing. I suppose the difference really came when we brought on Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. What a shame it is that we won't be able to do that on Thursday. We suddenly had a front three of Welbeck, Aubameyang and Lacazette. And while throwing all the strikers on against Newcastle really didn't work, here it did. It's odd. I suppose it's a gamble, and this time the gamble paid off. Joe Hart made an excellent save, didn't he, to deny Danny Welbeck, but then allowed an Aaron Ramsey cross to drift past him for the goal to put Arsenal back ahead. Then the front three combined, Welbeck to Aubameyang to Lacazette. Aubameyang laying on a goal for Lacazette for the second time in as many games. Encouraging signs from those two, and they were both involved in the final goal. Ultimately, I think it was Lacazette who made a very accomplished finish actually. He'd had a very quiet game, and up against West Ham's physical centre-halves I had sort of worried that he was going to struggle to make any kind of impact, but when the chances came he was as ruthlessly efficient as we've come to expect. So yeah, hats off to him as well. All in all, a pretty decent preparation for the Atletico game. Arsenal went with a strong 11, clearly with that in mind. The real shame is that we lost Mohamed El-Neni, who I think would have been a really strong contender to start that match. Ramsey played further up front today, you know, playing kind of the number 10 role. He could have done that on Thursday too, with El-Neni and Xhaka sitting in behind. I imagine now Ramsey will revert to a deeper role. Ozil, and will Mkhitaryan be back, or will it be Iwobi? We wait and we see. Mkhitaryan is back in training, but a real shame for El-Neni. He looked in real pain and distraught, to be honest. You know, he could miss a European Cup final, and that's a huge blow to a guy who's been in good form of late and very deserving of a new contract. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Off to Arsene Wenger's press conference. That should be an interesting one. Cheers, guys.